No health without mental health. There is no health without mental health. There is no health without mental health. And so say all of us. Hello, everyone. Good evening, Nigerians. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, different parts of the world. It's your regular host, Dr. Olusegun Peter Ogunubi. Welcome to our Friday tonic, Mind Matters with Dr. Nubi. As some of you prefer to say, Mind Matters with Dr. P. Okay, how has our week been? I believe everything has been moving on fine. And I believe you've been taking good care of your health, most especially your mental health. Remember what we always say, there is no health without mental health. All right, I promise to make it so snappy today. We have 15-20 minutes, we should be done. Let's see how it goes. All right. Welcome, Rose Shola, Ibijoke, thanks for joining. The most important thing is, after listening to this live, after watching this live, spread the news, go to my page, like, comment, and also share. Sometimes people may not be opportune to, join live, but when you share with them, on their WhatsApp, Facebook page, Telegram, they will learn a lot. So we've been talking about signs and symptoms of mental illness, emotional issues, and we've said that it sometimes it's not until people begin to walk naked on the road that you that you say that they're having mental health issue. It's not until when they are wearing tattered clothes. Sometimes people may be, dressing nicely, speaking phonetics, and yet a lot of things are going on in their mind. Their thought process, they may be going through delusion, they may be hallucinating, all those things. But some of us think it's only when people are walking naked wearing rags, that's when they have emotional issue or mental illness. So if you say, will you see a psychiatrist? Say, God forbid, nothing is wrong with me. I'm not mad. And we have already said it here, that madness is not the same as mental illness. Many of us have one issue or the other that we're going through. Our mind is not settled. That means emotionally we're not doing well. That does not mean we are mad and we are roaming the street. Most of the time when people talk about madness, they're trying to talk about psychosis. They're talking about the high level form of emotional illness which has not received care. And so the person is behaving abnormally and everything. And that's what I'll be talking about today. Some of the symptoms that that I've been mentioning before, if you look at it, they appear so mild. But the ones I will be mentioning today are those ones that people usually now think, yes, if you have this one, obviously there is something going on. For example, we've mentioned some symptoms, but we're going to mention them later. Before I round up, I will, mention all the symptoms that I've been talking about in the last 2 or 3 series now. Sometimes people just feel their action is not their own. They feel their hand moving, their body part is not their own. It is important. You'll be surprised that this happens in some people, in which they feel, no, my action, I'm not the one performing this action. I'm not the one, talking. I'm not the one, writing. My hand is just being used by external forces. You say, wow, that's strange. Yet it happens. People have that experience as well. Sometimes people just have this belief, this idea, and those ideas, when you look at it, it is not possible. Someone believes that it's God. Someone believes that he has been sent on a mission to rescue this world, and someone believes that I had a client who believed that all the money, everything he needs in this life has already been worked for. So he will just be at home. He refuses to go to school, and he keeps believing, or let me say, he kept. I'm not sure whether he's doing very fine now, because after a time he stopped coming to the clinic. People will tell you that, oh, you know what? They just have that belief to rescue the world. Sometimes it can come in form of grandiosity, either of identity, either of ability. A client once told me that she can turn to water and sweep me away, and I started begging her to please not do that. Sometimes people come to you, with boldness. They tell you that they are married to so and so, this and that. These are delusions. I will still be talking about delusional disorder in our clinic. Mind Matters with Dr. P here online, but it is possible for you to know that sometimes people have some of these well belief. It's also important that loss of libido or increased libido is also an example of mental illness. In depression, for example, person does not have any sexual interest, especially married couple, they don't meet each other, person is just totally disinterested. It's also important to know that sometimes in mania, people have increased libido because of increased neurotransmitter rush, and they just behave recklessly, they drive dangerously, they take substances and things like that. Sometimes it can even come in form of change in religious belief. Somebody will just come and there and just say, you know what, my name is no longer Peter, I'm now this. I've seen someone who just started praying, started reading Quran. After, when he got well, he went back to his religion. So this thing can come. Some, they will start praying. They can fast, they can pray excessively. Some, they feel that they've sinned, and it is because of them that the world is suffering. And they will do everything possible to make sure they atone for their sin by going on prolonged fasting and so many things. Sometimes also, it's possible that people just believe that they are not worthy, or they are dying, or a part of their body is rotting, even when it is not so. These are weird symptoms. But sometimes people will not tell you what they are going through. Sometimes people just feel the need to be spending. So they start dashing out things, clothes, money, the credit card. They just, recharge cards, they start giving people things. Those are signs that some things are going on. So it is important for you to know that some of these things can happen. When you see people just dishing out things or hoarding rubbish, things they need to throw away, they start gathering. The whole house is full of, garbage, and they have other similar symptoms. Something may be going on. It's important for us to understand things. Also, some dress abnormally, some dress out of tune, some wear bright color clothes, so many things. Dr. Nubi, are you saying that once I wear bright color clothes now I'm having emotional illness? No. These in consonance with other things will make us to be weary, and will us to be worried rather that something is going on. It's also important that sometimes people begin to talk too much, hyperactivity, restlessness, ideas are flowing, they're thinking of how to save the world, they're thinking of many things. Okay, you know what, if you invest into this, it's going to get this. No, I'm going to start sport this. No, you know what, ideas are flying. This can occur in mania. We are still going to take some of these substance, some of these conditions one by one, but it's important to know. Sometimes people will be mute. You talk to them, they're not answering. Selective mutism is also very important. Talking too much, hyperactivity. They will not be able to say personally. We mentioned that before. Some just believe that the world is going to come to an end. They just believe that the world is going to come to an end. That sudden feeling that there's a doomsday coming. You don't know what people go through. People actually go through a lot. Sometimes people are walking on the road, but they are going through a lot of what we call intra-psychic experience. They are wearing clothes, they are speaking well, But from time to time, you see them talking to themselves. Why? They are hearing voices, and the voices are telling them. Some believe that they are being monitored by street lights. Some believe that they are using their phone to monitor them. I've seen many of my clients who dip their phones inside water. Some have flushed their phones away. Some have thrown the phones away because they just feel they are using the phone to monitor them. That is paranoia, suspiciousness. So all these things are signs and symptoms of emotional illness. It's also important to know that sometimes people engage in ritual habits or rituals. My hand is dirty. Let me go and wash it. We call it obsessive compulsive disorder, where people just feel the need. Oh, did I close the door? I once had a client, and each time we were in the session, he would say, please, I'm coming. He will go, lock the door of the car, and come back. And the car was just right in front of us. We could see through the door. And that was the day I knew that this symptom is real. I will continue, then he will become restless. He say, please, Dr. Nubi, let me quickly go. He will go again, he will lock the car. I said, but you have locked the car. Of course, I understand what was going on. I said, but you've locked the car. I said, I said, some people are joining that I need to recognize and respect. Abby Sunshine, thanks for joining. Oyiye, thanks for joining. Maggie Babe, thanks for joining. Kemsday. Simply Tacha is joining my life. Oh, I appreciate you. So, as much as possible, we're talking about signs and symptoms of emotional illness. Sometimes we are waiting to see the big one. Maybe the person will be holding cutlass, or the person will be, destroying things. They will say, oh, this person has emotional illness. No. Sometimes somebody is just withdrawn and in his room, something is going on. Sometimes somebody is crying. I once had a client, once he starts crying, he will not be able to stop. And the person still called me few weeks ago. This person, once he starts crying, he will not be able to stop. He will cry in any setting, continue to cry and cry and cry and cry and cry. It's emotional illness. You may say, what is causing his cry? What is his problem? Let me give him bucket. These are the things his friend tell him. Come on, be a man. What's wrong with you? Real man, don't cry. Meanwhile, this person is going through a lot. So there are many things that people go through that when you see them, you think everything is okay. I once conducted a study in 2012, and guess what? We discovered that people are only able to recognize dangerous symptoms or overwhelming symptoms like poor sleep, restlessness, destroying the things in the house, shouting, talking, all those things. But people are not able to identify subtle emotional symptoms, mental illness symptoms. You understand? It is important that we watch out for some of these things. When someone is withdrawn to self, or lack of enjoyment in things this person used to enjoy. Oh, I'm a Man U fan, I'm a Arsenal fan. All of a sudden they are playing football and the person is just at home. Let's go and watch match. That's not what is doing me now. That's not my issue now. Poor memory is a problem that if you are not careful may be in line with emotional illness. Sometimes people feel weak all the time, as if you have worked and worked and worked. Meanwhile, you've not done much. Feeling that you are feeling sickly, your whole body is paining you, all those things could be signs of emotional illness. Sometimes you feel that there are crawling sensations. This one's so common. Crawling sensation. We call it somatization. Or, you say, doctor, something's crawling in my body, something is doing this one. No. These are things that people complain when they come to the clinic. I'm having crawling sensation, I'm having this. Some will feel as if they are going to die. They begin to have this breathlessness. It's as if their eyes are turning. It's as if their head is being taken away from their body. These are signs and symptoms of panic disorder. Sometimes as if you are choking. And when you are doing that, you begin to breathe continuously. It's as if you are going to die. Some have phobia. I once understand that a woman who saw me, and she has not left her home for over 5 years. Not step out. We call it housebound phenomenon. They will be there. Bas Vamiro, thanks for joining my live. Mandy Andre, thanks for joining. So you see them Oh, Mr. Bishaki, thanks for joining my life. So, as much as possible, call it housebound phenomenon. There are many things happening to people. People are going through a lot. I just want us to know we are handling the signs and symptoms of mental illness today. We've had 3 parts. It's important. It's important for you to know that it is not until when people are wearing rags. It's not until when people are displaying, as we used to say, shouting. I once had a patient. She went to the market and she stood in front of the woman. After a while, she started scattering the things. What is your problem, young woman? She said the woman ought to have known what was on her mind. We call it thought broadcasting. That people believe that sometimes people are ill to the extent that they believe you know what is going on in their mind. So this woman stood there and this young lady stood there and felt the woman. They had to call the family because they felt that this is not ordinary. That is thought broadcasting. People are going through a lot. I know someone who believes so much that when he's going on the road, all the street lights, they are talking about him. That person may not display, but that is what his mind is telling him. I know someone who kept moving from one apartment to the other, saying something is being dragged from the ceiling. I know, when clients come to the clinic and they tell me a lot of things, I like, what? These people will drive themselves to the clinic. That is to tell you that, come. You can't even come. I tell people, you know what? Go to Grace Cottage Clinic. You will not see any of my clients and say, oh, this person is ill. We all relate the same way, play with the staff. You will never know. That is to tell you that emotional illness is not about wearing rags, picking things from the gutter and saying, oh, God forbid, I will not have mental illness. There is nobody that is immune. It is very important for you to know. How do you explain someone walking and believing that the posters are referring to? If you see obituary, you say OB2 dead, it will just turn it. We call it reference, division of reference. Everything that, a client once met me and, she was troubled, crying all the time. And then what happened? She read a part of the Bible and she said she was the beast that was mentioned in Revelation. And that she has become pregnant now. And she will give birth to another beast with 10 horns. And this thing was so distressing to her. Every other thing about her was okay. She could cook, she could go to work, but she kept being distressed by this thought that she actually was the beast. I'm very sure you'll be saying, wow, things are happening. Yes. If I open my mouth to tell you experiences of people, we call it psychopathology. Different things that people have mentioned that they are going through. And these people, they will drive themselves. Some will take you back, they will come to the clinic. People are going through a lot. Sometimes people are not talking. They will use different form of things like alcohol to just displace what is going on. We call it intra-psychic experience. Things that are going on in their mind. It is important for you to know that people are going through a lot. So if you are waiting for the friend or your relative or you yourself till everything becomes explosive, it is dangerous. Once you begin to have some ideas, once you begin to feel that things are not normal, when you begin to feel restless, when you begin to feel that things around you, that may be your brain telling you that all things are not well. Now you begin to hold on to certain belief. Oh, this person. I once had a client who believed that one of the ex-governors of Ogun State was actually his lover, her lover. This woman will go to the gate of the governor's house, and anytime the governor's secretary is going, she will be running. They've taken her to Arrow several times. She will be recharged. But she said that the governor is in love with her, but that the governor does not want to admit, so that the governor will not be ashamed. We call it delusion of love. We have delusion of jealousy, where people just believe that, oh, they are sleeping with my husband. You'll be checking the hair of the husband to find out whether there is hair strand of woman. They will check the underwears. They will go around. They will stalk. They will cyberbully. They will do so many things because you just believe that, no, my partner is unfaithful. Delusional disorder, paranoia. There is a disorder that you just believe that, oh, something is going on. You just be in that delusional mood and you just believe that something is going on. Something is going on. You'll be suspicious. I had a banker who saw me. Anytime she decided to go to the banking hall, she just believed that there are flies that the mates are sending to her. And the flies are moving, hovering around that table. She kept changing her seats. You will not know what they are going through. but they're actually going through a lot. So, but what you'll be seeing is that this person is changing station. But what is happening is that this person feels that the colleagues are sending flies. So from time to time, you see her doing like this. If she wants to eat or anything, she'll be doing like this. Every other thing is perfect. Dressing, everything is okay. So, don't forget, emotional illness can affect 3 areas in your body. Any of these 3 areas. And I'm going to say this, and I will end or drop my mic today. It can affect your thinking. All the things I've mentioned today mostly are disorders of thoughts. They can affect the way you're thinking. Someone wants to harm me. Someone wants to kill me. People are against me. People are in love with me. I'm in love with somebody. People are sleeping with my partner. Everybody wants to sleep with my partner. Oh, I'm rich. Oh, I've been sent on a mission. Oh, I'm in charge of the whole world. Oh, I can turn to this. Oh, I can make any money. Oh, I can do this. Grandiosity. All those things. Oh, they want to kill me. They are running after me. All those things, paranoia. They are things of the thought, and you will never see. Sometimes you may not even see any other problem, but there will be aftermath effects, either on the partner, either on the children, either on the parents, either on the community, either on the friends. You will be seeing the aftermath effects, and when people sometimes it will appear as if it's a normal behavior. Disorders of thought are actually quite very dangerous, because someone that believes that his hand is not his own, that person can go and kill and say, I'm not the one that killed. It's my hand that killed. They only use my hand. It's a criminal case. I mean, you understand. The man has to be fitness to plea and everything. It's a major reason for homicides all around. We call it passivity phenomenon, where someone will believe that all my actions are not my own. But we as psychiatrists were able to discover that, okay, so you don't go and do any bad thing and say, I'm not the one that did it. We will find out through psychological autopsy and everything. But just know that people go through such. Disorders of thought are one of the most difficult disorders in emotional illness balance, because every other thing about them is okay. They are working, they are speaking, they are performing their roles, but that thinking pattern is affected. How do you think somebody that already believes that he has money everywhere and that he has come to this world and that the money will come, he will not go to school? He will not learn any trade. He will just be at home, and it will be causing distress to either the partner, to the parents, to all the people around. That this person has been at home for 10 years. Meanwhile, this person is telling them, don't worry, the money is coming. It's a delusion. Delusions are quite, and I'm going to talk about delusion very well. So you can have problem with thinking. The next thing is that you can have problem with your mood. Either the mood is very high or very low. It is important for us to know this. Some can be so sad to the extent that they want to commit suicide. They are in a state of despondency. Everything around them is totally, and it's not that they are not doing well. This person may actually be depressed, but the mood may be affected. They become so depressed. I've seen a client of mine who started stabbing herself. And when I say why, he said, I don't know why I'm sad. So I stabbed myself to find out, to just be able to blame something. Okay, that this is the reason why I'm sad. It is important for us to know. We hear a lot. We hear a lot when we allow clients to see us, and they just say a lot. They say a lot. Say, wow. Sometimes you are reading textbooks and then you see a client. It's as if that client was what they put in the textbook. During my residency training, there are some situations that we read about. I will tell myself then, oh, this cannot be possible. How can human be? No. And then you see a client that comes, oh, Grace Cottage. And they come around and then they begin to talk. Even without asking them, they begin to share their experience. It's as if I'm reading the textbook. Meanwhile, this person will drive himself to a Lupeju or herself. So it is important for you to know. There is help. And that is the most important thing I want to tell you today. The third is the disorders of action. We talk about disorders of thinking, disorders of mood, and disorders of action. So most of the time, it's the disorder of action and mood that people see most of the time. You just see the person restless, dangerous, talking, you understand, behavioral disorders. It is important for us to know that there are so many things that can constitute emotional illness. And I said it that don't just pick one and say, oh, this person is having emotional illness. It must be causing distress to the family, distress to the person, The duration matters. It must be causing disability, and it is deviated from who the person used to be before. It is important for us to understand this. Okay? So I think today we've succeeded in rounding up signs and symptoms of emotional illness. If you missed the part 1, I posted it on my Instagram page. If you missed the part 2, right there on my Instagram page. And this is the part 3, which is the last one. And I know that many people will share this with their friends so that you will know that when they ask you, go and see a psychiatrist. You can't say you want to go and see a psychologist. I have psychologists in the clinic that are working with us, but these are not medical doctors. There are many things that can make one to have emotional illness. So when you go to the hospital, you are registered, you see the doctor. The doctor will now rule out many other medical conditions before they now say this is purely emotional illness. Then in the course of treatment, they can refer you to behavioral therapist, psychologist, and co. So don't say because of the name, God forbid, I say psychiatrist, you want to see. Many of my colleagues are changing their name to behavioral scientist, behavioral personality, human mind modulator. Whether you change it or not, we are psychiatrists. Psychic is the brain, the mind. Trist is the professional, the study. You understand? It is important for us to know that the name, the nomenclature, does not in any way remove the fact that we take care of your mental health. There is no health without mental health. We know that. And as you take care of your physical health, you must also make conscious effort to take care of your emotional health. Be conscious, be deliberate, be intentional about this thing. And don't say, God forbid. As they say, Allah ma je. No. Anyone can have emotional illness. No one is immune to this. So while you are judging others, you can just become a victim. And that is why we need to help one another. We need to help those who are going through addiction. Addiction is not something that people on their own decided to just, some started as experimental before they started using it purposely, maybe to eat or to sleep. Before they knew it becomes compulsory use, and after that it becomes addictive and they can no longer go away. They become hooked and they become real addicted to that thing. So I think we'll just stop today. Thank you all for joining me. I will discuss with you, Pristine, the vertigo. You may need to see ENT. ENT, we have to rule out the fact that everything is okay with you. Then we can now, think about the psychological effect. Okay, is this due to psychological effect or not? But if anyone has vertigo, your eyes rolling, lightheadedness, it's important to first of all see the physician. When I say physician, I mean general physician, the GP or the ENT surgeons. They will rule any other cause out, and then thank you, Dr. Tola, just joining. So I think I will end today by saying, take care of your mental health. There's no health without mental health. I think I spent 30 minutes today. Thank you all for joining me. Go to my page. I'm going to post this right away. Help me share it. This is my own contribution to humanity. Till I see you again next week. All right. Maybe someone should just say bye-bye. If you have been following me, let's make this interaction a relationship. Okay. I need a bye-bye. I need a bye-bye. I need a wave so that I can just sign out. Thank you so much. Okay. Who is saying bye-bye? You don't want me to go? Sorry. I have to go. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.